Good afternoon, everybody. It is Will and Caleb back with our monthly kind of mastermind live Q&A event. So thank you for everybody who is going to spend their Saturday with us to really kind of go over how we're getting customers and what's working well in our market. So we're down here in the great state of Texas in
Let's
this
go.
beautiful, lovely weather. So Caleb, thanks for joining me this Saturday. And
Absolutely.
yeah, so really the topic for today is obviously on the thumbnail. It was, how are we, booking X amount of customers a day, right? So I just wanted to ask you, we're like down here in Texas. I mean, how many weeks in would you say we are on the spring rush?
Probably about a week and a half, 2 weeks now.
I
It
agree.
it
I agree.
I'd really say it honestly started at, like, the end of February, like, last week of February, we got 20 clients. Like, it was wild. So,
Yeah.
it started pretty early for us.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So how 2 weeks in of the spring rush, how have things been going? What's your thought process on it? Obviously, we've waited all winter for the volume to pick up. What are your
Yeah.
initial thoughts here as we're 2 weeks into spring rush?
It's awesome. Like, we've just added so many clients. I've hired 2 team members now. Um, it's been great. Like, going from just absolutely being dead slow, nothing going on, very honestly just boring. I would say, at least for me, going to being extremely busy, it's where I feel comfortable at. It's where I feel like I thrive. So it's been huge for me.
Yeah, yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, we've I feel like we've well equipped ourselves very well. Like we've overhired quite a bit of people with the volume of EDDM flyers that we're pushing out with all the sales coming down the pipe. Like we're ready. Like we're really
Yeah.
equipped and ready to kind of like hit the ground running. So um awesome. Okay, so what I wanted to let everybody know, obviously we're going to be doing a Q&A at the end here, so make sure that you guys are putting in your questions. Let me throw the banner up here on the bottom. Looks like we've already got 6 people tuning in live.
Let's
Obviously
go.
expected to get more here, so make sure you guys are putting your questions in the comments below. We'll get to them at the end of this short period here. And
So, hey, before you go, I wanted to ask, so with the flyers that you're doing, how many have you put out so far?
I would say we're more than probably so on the Aubrey side, we pump those out. We're I think a week left of pumping those flyers out. And then
Okay.
Salina's location, which is our new location, is just getting started because they all have brand new sod. So the sod isn't waking up as quickly as like the well-established lawns. Um, I'd say we're probably about halfway through right now. It's going well. It's going very, very well. So on Monday, we booked 11 new customers. On Tuesday, we booked 14 new customers. On Wednesday, we booked 11 new customers. And then Thursday and Friday were a little bit slower. But I did pull the numbers over the last 3 weeks, and we've gotten roughly about 80 to 85 new customers just in the past probably 2 3 weeks. So
Wow.
hockey stick growth, right? I mean, and and we're only 2 weeks in, so we haven't even hit all of the I need my lawn cut today yet. You know what I mean? Like the grass is still kind of waking up. So yeah, we're doing a lot better than we did last year, and it's going really, really well so far. So
That's 80
uh,
clients in 2 weeks. That's insane.
yeah, literally. Yeah, it was about like I'd say 15 working days. 80 customers in about 15 working days. And that's why on the thumbnail, it's not clickbait. Literally, we're booking roughly about 10 customers a day, legitimately. Um, so I wanted to ask you, Caleb. So obviously you were when we did the in-person mastermind groups hosted here at our house, you were one of the members there. And what we always used to do is we would kind of review the last 30 days and say one thing that's going like really well, that's going well in our business, and then one thing that like we either need help with or that's not going well, right? Like the best thing and then the worst thing. So what over the last 30 days is going really well for you and what is not going very well for you?
So one thing that I kind of going into this spring was a little worried about was hiring, but the labor market has been fantastic this year. It's been very easy to find people, great people as well. So I've actually managed to hire two pretty solid guys. So that's been fantastic. Something I would say I need to kind of improve on, um, maybe just getting out, being able to schedule properly, like my own time. I kind of struggle with creating a schedule for myself. Like, for example, I'll have estimates that come up, I'll have interviews, and I'll try to just mix it all in one day. I'll be like, "Okay, yeah, we can set up estimates for tomorrow, interviews," and then I get to it, and I'm like, "Oh, crap, this is not working. I've got jobs, we're behind," right? So, just scheduling properly, my time has been difficult and something that I'm kinda learning right now still, trying to get better at.
Yeah, that's awesome. Time management is a definitely a good skill you will learn as we go through.
Yeah.
Um,
Uh, what about you? What's like, kinda like one thing that's going well for you guys and something maybe you could improve on?
yeah, I would say probably the new customer growth is going extremely well. So last year we kind of shot ourselves in the foot. We like raised prices to like 95, almost $100 an hour. And in the spring rush, it was just not that good. Like we did not have the volume that we're having this year. And so this year it's going really, really well. Um, as far as getting new customers. I would say we haven't really had any big like hiccups per se. I would say Copilot, there are a few challenges on that. As far as I think we lost one customer because emails weren't going through or something, which isn't that huge of a deal. But I'd say honestly, the biggest thing as of recently is one of our hires that we offered a job to that I thought was very, very solid. He texted me or called me yesterday and said he took another job, which happens. But
Yeah.
because we had 3 in the queue we got 2 starting this week, and then we had 1 that started last week. And so, yeah, the one that I thought was going to be really, really solid calls me and goes, "Hey, got another job," but it happens,
Yeah, it
and
happens.
you just kind of move forward from it. So, all
Great.
right, very good, very good. So I wanted to talk about before we get into Q&A, both of us have done like offers, right? And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, yours is going to be first cut free for customers, and then ours is first fertilization and weed control treatment free. So, how has that offer been going for you? Is it too early to kind of tell? Do you wish you would have done this last year? Are you going to do it next year? Like, what are your thoughts so far on that offer?
I wish I had done it earlier is definitely what I would say. Next year, I won't be doing it because I believe we'll definitely be in a position next year to where we won't even need that offer. Um, it's great. We've put out 500 flyers or door hangers, and we've gotten 10 new leads, maybe even more, and we've converted 7 of those 10 from what it shows on my report. And so by doing that math, every 250 flyers that I put out, I get 5 leads and I get 70% of that. So that means I can get 3 to 4 clients for every 250 flyers that I put out, which is fantastic. That's great. So we're just gonna keep putting out the flyers, keep putting them out every single day. Um, we actually ordered 15,000 door hangers. So I mean, what's the math on that? 15,000, 70, 10 leads. What would be the math on that? 15,000 door hangers. We get 10 per 500.
So 10 divided by 500 is 0.02%. So you're getting a 2%. Is that conversion or is that just calls?
That's leads, and then we get 70% of those leads
Okay, yeah,
converted.
perfect. So that if we multiply that by 15,000, you'll have about 300 leads at the end of the season, at the end of the spring rush. If you pump all
Yeah,
those out, over the next few weeks, you should get about 300 leads. And then you said you get about 75% of that. That's going to be roughly about over 200 customers, 225 customers. If
yeah,
you stay the course of the volume, obviously this is prime time. So the more you can get out, the more you're going to book, right? And so that's why, like, yeah, at any second of the day that you can get, if the guys aren't working, or even on Saturdays, like you texted me last night, I'm going and putting out flyers today before the call. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's just
That's,
money. It's like I'll put them out and then I'm getting calls immediately. It's crazy. The offer is just it's so good. It's you'd be stupid to say no to it.
yeah, especially if they
That's what
need
I
it,
love.
right?
Yeah.
And obviously, all the grass is starting to grow. So
Now, I will say the problem for me was going into the spring with such a low amount of cash. So I would probably say if you are going to do, let's say, like a first mow free or half off the first visit, make sure that you've got at least 1 to 3 months of revenue set aside. That's something that I failed to do, and I'm making it work, but it's very risky. I definitely wouldn't recommend doing this offer without some cash on hand.
yeah, yeah, that's very cool. Very cool. Yeah, as far as our offer goes, we did the first weed control treatment completely free. It's the best when when you get to a point where you basically are like requiring the customer to be on the weed control. It's the best when they just call you for mowing, and then we provide value to them and say, look, we're the quality company around, with us being military, and we only take on customers that have our mowing and weed control program. So do you have any weeds in the lawn? When we use that, a lot of them that are kind of on the fence are like, well, how much does it cost? And it's like, in the back of my mind, I'm like, the first one's free. Like, there's no reason you should. I mean, there's no contracts with us, no obligations, no cancellation fees. You can cancel at any time. And so, like you said, creating an offer they sound or feel silly saying no to is really the key. And that's helped us really well on those ones that are kind of on the fence, trying to convert.
Yeah.
I will tell you too that a lot of, to be honest, like, obviously we're pumping out tons of door hangers or EDDM. We're getting leads from all over the place. Google is one of our biggest driving factors right now. Like, I think just our SEO and website in the off season that we kind of tweak some stuff. Like, we're getting a lot of them from Google. We're starting to get them from like people seeing the trucks out. We're starting to get them from like our yard signs. So they're coming from all over the place, and that's like the beauty of the well-rounded kind of marketing machine. Is like, there's really not like a silver bullet, and that's kind of what I've learned. So, but the demand is definitely there. So
Yeah, definitely. How much are you spending per day on your Google ads?
we don't spend any money on Google ads. It's
Oh,
all
you're not right now?
organic. It's all organic. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you said you're putting out Google ads.
No, just well, they're coming from Google, but they're organic searches. So it's us, the 5-star, like we did a marketing campaign. We raffled off a iPad, you know, 3 weeks ago, and we got like 20 to 25 new 5-star reviews. So doing that 3 weeks before the spring rush is definitely helping, you know.
Yeah.
So
That's
cool.
crazy.
It is. It
25
is.
reviews. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. So all right, very cool, very cool. So, like, one of the things that I wanted to talk about, like, are you, obviously you had signed up for a, so you're still out in the field right now working. Are you answering phones while working?
Uh, when I can, yeah. So I am in the field still. I'm doing door hangers. I'm doing estimates and taking phone calls. Now, I do actually use a service called Callboss. So I've just recently started this Monday. And basically, Callboss will take all of your phone calls if you can't get to the phone. So for the first 20 seconds, if someone calls in, it goes straight to my phone. If I can't get to that phone call in 20 seconds, it goes straight to Callboss. So my phone calls are always being answered no matter what. So I kind of made sense of this by basically saying, okay, if I'm going to be putting down, let's say $10,000 in marketing for this year in the spring, I figure it's gonna be a waste of money if I'm not able to pick up every single phone call when we're putting out these flyers, we're putting out these ads. That's kinda how I made sense of it. I probably won't need it as we go into later in the season, maybe fall, winter. But for right now, when it's super busy, it's really, really helpful, for me to be able to take all the calls.
Yeah.
And I know you guys are using something like that too, right?
Yeah. So we just signed up for that this year as well. We use a company called Answer Force. What's nice about Answer Force is they're open 24/7, 7 days a week. So when the office closes at 5:30 on a weekday or even on a Saturday and Sunday right now, if a customer were to call, they would at least hit the Answer Force and be able to gather that key information that we need. So it's basically the way that we have it set up is just like a glorified voicemail system, right? But what they found was 67% of people, when they hit the voicemail, they don't actually leave a message, they just hang up. And anybody that's like me, like time is money, so I don't even want to hit the voicemail. I'm going to the next company on Google My Business and just going down the line until somebody answers. And so as long as they can answer and give them that information, what we have found is our office manager really, really likes it now because she's not having to play phone tag back and forth with the people that like never left a voicemail. And, they would call, we would miss it. She would call back, leave a voicemail. Hey, we saw you, call our company. We missed it. Sorry. Give us a call back. And then they're just playing phone tag. When our answer force calls it, they're gathering their first name, last name, phone number, address, email, and why they're calling. And so if they're a new customer, we're sending them pricing. If they're an existing one, then we're calling and doing customer service stuff. So it's really nice that the office manager doesn't have to like follow up with that. We have all the information that we need. And most of the time, like they're not hanging up anyway. So it's been working out actually really well for us.
Cool. And then do they actually go into your CRM and input that data?
No. So that is a double manual entry that we do have to do. But honestly, there's not a whole lot that come in. I would say our office and myself, we catch about 85 to 90% of all the calls that come through during the week. So obviously over the weekend, there'll be some that come in. We will have to manually enter those. I just wanted to simplify it as simple as possible, especially because we're only going to be using them for the spring rush for those 1 or 2 months anyway. I didn't want to set it up super complex, you know, and have them going inside the CRM and stuff. They're literally just a voicemail, but it's a human that's answering it, right? Sure, great. We can help you with that. I just need to, then they gather the information, and if anybody asks, they just say, hey, look, we're reception, all right, offsite
Right.
reception. So very cool,
Yeah,
very
it's
cool.
pretty similar with Call Boss. I mean, it kind of like a glorified data taker, I guess, or inputter. They'll pretty much just put their information in, and then they'll say, "Hey, if this person is calling in for an estimate, they'll say, hey, we'll just give you a call back, or I'm going to send you the estimate here in the next 5 minutes." Which is actually pretty cool. So they can actually do estimates for me. Now, I don't know about the scheduling; they haven't done that yet. But it's definitely nice, and it's great that I'm always able to have phone calls taken, no matter what. It's super convenient.
So have they sent any estimates yet, like this past
Yeah,
week?
they
Really?
did. Yeah,
Wow.
it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And they can take down cards, they can, see kinda where I'm at, like, let's say I'm doing estimates and someone calls in, they're like, "Hey, where's the estimator at?" They could tell me, like, when I'll kinda be there. They'll write down notes in Slack. So if someone calls in and they're like an upset customer, like they have a complaint, they'll write down exactly what they said, with their name, number, everything, and then I could call them back, and basically handle any kinda situation. It's pretty cool, pretty
Yeah.
handy.
Wow. So did you have to like pay for an account for Slack, or that's just something incorporated with them?
I had to pay for a deposit upfront, so it's $500, and then it's $2 a minute, for phone calls.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Cool.
You do have to pay a minimum of, I think, 120 bucks a week, but that comes with 60 minutes included in that 120. And then
Gotcha.
after the 60 minutes, it's $2 a minute.
Yeah. Very cool. Very cool. Well, that's awesome, man. Well, very cool. All right. So looks like we got some questions coming in. So, oh, that one went up really quick. All right. So, if you guys have any questions, go ahead and put them in the comments below. We'll transition into the Q&A portion of the event here. So, did you want to take this one away here, Caleb? Start
Yeah.
us off.
So Josh Kelberg, still snow on the ground in North Idaho. The extended forecast looks promising. I've been pushing ads in the local Facebook classifieds. Little response. How much in advance do you begin marketing? So for us, I mean, we started pushing out door hangers at the beginning or the end of February. Now, Idaho, I know it's probably a lot colder up there. Um, so I mean, I would definitely say once it starts warming up a bit and you start seeing weeds kind of popping up, it's probably around the time whenever you want to start pushing out some of your marketing. But it depends on also the services that you're pushing for
Yeah,
sure.
absolutely. I definitely agree on that. All right, Steve Mruck. Okay, have you tried Google Ads and Google Local Services? So I personally have not. I've heard that that is the trifecta. If you basically sign up for Google Local Services, so basically you can have your Google Ads going, you can have your Google Local Services, and then if you have really good reviews on Google My Business, you can show up there at the top, and then organically, if you can pop up to be on like that first page, like there's no question when they see you 2 or 3 or 4 times on that first page, the customer is going to call you, right? And so that's kind of like the trifecta. I have not personally done it. I got a lot of marketing calls from them and when I first started my business, like, 3 or 4 years ago, but I personally have not. Have you, Caleb, dealt with them?
Google local services, no, I've never set it up.
Have you done
Um,
have you done Google ads?
I'm doing Google Ads right now for both of our service areas. I have 2 different ads running at the same time. It's okay. It's pretty expensive per click, actually. It's between, like, $3 and $5 a click. Because I think whenever I started doing Google Ads 2 or 3 years ago, it was, like, 30, 40, 50, 60 cents a click. It was way cheaper, but it's really, really expensive. I think it's because the demand is super high. I might be wrong. Um, but no, not Google local services. I know that the cost per lead has gone up considerably on that. It's pretty expensive. I think it's
Yeah.
like 25, $30 a lead.
I'm sure the location matters as well. So depending on
Mhm.
like where you're located, it could probably fluctuate as far as like pricing goes. Um, but yeah, that's interesting. So how much are you spending a day in Google ads?
$10.
$10. Okay. And
So,
so
well, there's different ads, so there's 2 of them, one for one service area, one for the other, for the 2 cities we service, and they're both $10 each, so $20 a day is the budget, but the I don't get a lot of response on them, a lot of clicks.
yeah. So are you able to go in there and see the analytics of like how many people like clicked on the ad, called from the ad or whatever? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Just as long as you get that data at the end of the season, we can look back and be like, all right, was this worth it? Should we do it again? Uh, very cool.
definitely.
Very cool.
Steve Mruck, we didn't have good luck with using an answering service. Well, that stinks,
I'm curious who they used,
right?
but
Who'd you use?
I will tell you when I was setting up Answer Force, so a good a good answering service will help you set up a phone script, and you want to literally build the phone script. If they didn't help you set this up at the beginning, you probably need to like ask them to really define this. But the phone script like makes or breaks a good call service or not. Like you have to basically dumb it down so simple that literally a 7-year-old can take it and do it. So much so that the lady, when I was setting up Answer Force, they were asking me like, when I was like, oh yeah, just put these services down of like landscaping, sod, aeration, and like to you and I, we all know what aeration is, right? It's like loosens up the soil. But to them, they're like, what is aeration? What is sod? Like they don't know and they don't understand. And so you really have to simplify that phone script for somebody so that way no matter where they're at in the US when they're answering the phone, they can help them or not. You know what I mean? Um,
Yeah, definitely.
that's what I learned when I was setting it up. So hopefully you have a better experience with that. He said, we have local services and it does well. Just asking. Very cool. Very cool. I've heard local services is good.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it puts you at the top, right? When they search. So,
Josh Kelberg, have either of you used Facebook ads? Is most of your marketing focus on EDDM, door hangers, signs, etc.? What? So I'm not doing Facebook ads right now. I might try it for a couple weeks. So I think video, from what I've heard, works the best on Facebook. Um, Most of our marketing, yes, is EDM, door hangers. Door hangers is huge right now for us. Signs, not so much, just because the city in the HOAs they pick them up like this. So we'll put out a sign and we'll go back a couple hours later and it's gone. But that's just kind of our area. All areas are kind of different on that.
Yeah, I would say our biggest, probably three, Josh, is going to be organic Google search, probably EDDM flyers, and then I would say probably our trucks, because we have 5 of them that are driving around locally.
Are y'all putting out the door hangers this year?
Yeah.
You are?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not at the volume that we normally do. The volume is going through EDDM this year. But
Okay.
yeah, when our estimator goes out, they do their 5 around. For our second location, if he doesn't have a lot of mows that day, like if he only has 2, the rest of the day he is doing door hangers. We are getting calls off of that. We've probably gotten, probably like, I don't know, maybe 5 or 8 calls. But he's only put out maybe, probably 2 to 3,000 on that, uh, if
Okay.
that.
Wow.
All right. What marketing would you recommend? I think like at the beginning, just testing it all and then analyzing and seeing what works well. Um, I would say that's probably the best approach, especially like right here, right now. Like if we were like, what are we gonna pick? It's like let's try it all. Like $10 on Google Ads, $10 on Facebook ads. Let's get some door. Let's buy 1,000 or 2,000 door hangers. Let's put the signage on the trucks. You know, I would do a lot if you don't like once you know what works, just get rid of the stuff that doesn't. Like Caleb said, we live in a lot of areas that are HOA communities, so they're very like on top of stuff. So they don't want a lot of like I'm not gonna call them garbage, but like they don't want like all these like random signs on the sides of the corners and stuff, which is good as a homeowner, right? Like you probably wouldn't want that either. And so they're very diligent about picking that stuff up and like not keeping it out long. So we know in our market that doesn't really work well, and we're just kind of wasting money. So just kind of figuring out what works best in your market. You know, taking that approach. Did you have anything to add to that one?
Yeah. Yeah, I would definitely say try to find, like what Will said, what works well for you. If you think that door hanger gets you the most return on the amount of money that you spend, I would just go all in on that. I would buy up all the door hangers you need for your area and just blast them.
Yeah, very good.
Steve Mruck, yes, they did help with script and also put it in our CRM. However, their service was not consistent. Price was high and their service was not consistent. Yeah, that stinks. If you don't mind sharing, if you could tell us like who the calling service was.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, we tried like I said for us, we just try to keep it very simple. We don't they don't even have access to our CRM. They literally just answer the overflow of calls and get the information. That's it. You know, because we obviously have an internal office manager and myself doing all kind of like the estimates and sending that stuff out anyway. So cool. Steve Mruck said D. Josh Kalberg. Awesome. Thanks, gentlemen. You are
You're
very
welcome.
welcome. Guys, we made it through all of these comments very, very quickly today.
There's none left? Come
That
on
is
now.
it. That is it. Unless we got 7 people on here, we'll give it maybe 60 more seconds, maybe a couple minutes.
Ask your question. 60 seconds. Let's go.
Yeah. But yeah, that's very interesting. I'm glad. So are you on pace, Caleb, to while we're waiting on some of these questions to come in? Are you on pace? Because I know you had some like really, really ambitious goals, right? So like it's good to so we do this every month with our GMs. I sit down and we look at the KPIs. So like we're tracking like our Aubrey location has a 50% close ratio. Our Salina location right now has a 75% close ratio. So we are dialed in, baby, right now. Like we just need the volume coming now, right? Like we've already booked 80 new customers literally in the last 2 to 3 weeks. So it's like it's just a matter of time, right? And being accessible, answering the phone. But like, do you sit down each week, or are you tracking like each month of like, okay, how many new customers, or even each day? Like, what are you doing to make sure you're on track?
Yeah, just about every day. I'm looking at my report. I'm seeing how many clients I've gained, what the conversion rate is. I'll check even like the source every day too, just to see what's working. And I just looked at it. It's door hangers. We haven't even put out that many door hangers. Organic Google and door hangers are the two things that have been crushing. We still haven't put out our EDDM yet. We're actually getting them next week. But yeah, I'm gonna be well, to go back to, like, the KPIs, so, yeah, every single day, every week, checking those, making sure that, they're where they need to be at. But with the EDDM, we're gonna be once we get those, we're actually gonna hit 2 of our biggest areas that we're already pretty dense in. We're gonna hit those areas twice. Instead of trying to cover an entire service area, I wanna focus on trying to get route density, so we're gonna focus on 2, 2 neighborhoods and just blast them. We're gonna do it twice.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's very cool. And I was a little nervous when you messaged me the other day and said that you had that hiccup with the EDDM, because I was like, oh man, like we're already sending ours out, but ours was really mainly targeted to weed control.
Yeah.
We had mowing on there, but like that's when the grass was all yellow. You could see all the weeds. To be honest, the grass like is still kind of coming out of dormancy. And I know your territory out there, you have a lot of new builds. So the sod
Mhm.
isn't really like coming in super thriving just yet. So I think you're actually going to time it almost perfectly on this when you get it in about a week. And when you pump those out, dude, it's going to be prime time.
That's why I'm glad we kinda had the hiccup and had some time because I was just gonna go and start putting them out immediately. But yeah, the grass is hardly growing. It's really just the weeds. That's kinda the biggest thing people have been asking about is the weeds. But definitely putting that out in April, I would probably say the first week, maybe even 2 weeks in April is gonna be huge. The grass is gonna start growing like crazy, and when we put it out at that time, it's gonna be like it's gonna explode.
Yeah.
It's exciting. Yeah.
Yeah. That's
And
awesome.
then to go back, if we're on track, I believe so. I mean, we've gotten about 20 clients in the past 8 days,
That's awesome.
and then at the last week of February, 20 new clients. So we've gotten 40 new clients so far.
That's
So, I
awesome,
mean,
dude.
if we're getting 20 clients every week, I mean, I would assume we would hit our goal at that pace.
Yeah, and we haven't even hit like prime time yet. Like the grass isn't even like fully growing yet. So um
Yeah.
I think that's awesome. That's very cool, very cool. I did want to also mention anybody that is watching, and potentially for you, Caleb, too, if you're not already, but also don't forget about the monthly upsells. So we still, like, I think it was 2 weeks ago, did a upsell for fertilization and weed control, and we got like probably 25, maybe 30 one click estimate quotes that was accepted for just weed control, and a lot, and probably like 5 or 8 of those converted. So even if as we're still getting busier in the spring rush and everything, still those free way of marketing is still going to work well. So just like mark those calendars or reminders, whatever you got to do to we'll probably send one out for mowing here in probably about a week or two, which will be prime time for it. So
Definitely.
very cool. All right, we had, it looks like potentially another question here. I don't remember if this was me or you, Caleb, but I'll let you take this one.
Your green thumb. Hey guys, I'm a new subscriber to the channel, new lawn care business, solo, and new content creator. Any advice on getting new customers when you're new in solo? Yeah, I mean, if you're wanting a cheap way of doing it and whenever you're starting out and being in solo, you have a lot of time. You probably don't have a lot of money. So I would focus a lot of your efforts and what we call like sweat equity. I would use that on like door knocking, maybe printing out some cheap flyers and putting them on all the doors. Let's say you go and knock doors, they don't answer, put a flyer down. I would do that because you have a lot of time, and really just push that every single day.
Yeah, that's so easy. And
Yeah.
you can just use a printer at the house. Like, it doesn't need to be anything fancy. Just get your name out there, get that first couple handful of customers to give you the confidence that it works, and then you can spend a little bit more money on it. But that's the best in the beginning when you have the time to do it. All right, Steve Mruck says, sorry, pocket text. Okay, got it. Hey, by the way, Green Thumb, thank you for your support. Appreciate you subscribing to the channel. If anybody's watching here is not subscribed to the channel, you should definitely hit that subscribe button. Okay, Josh Kalberg, I'm going to focus heavily on upsells this season. Free advertising. I completely agree. It's easy money when you already have the names and the emails and the phone numbers in your database already. One thing that I did want to mention also, everybody that is watching, because we are going to get really, really busy, but this just sparked my thought process. Too often, we are all chasing the next customer. And what we fail to realize sometimes is there might be 10, 15, even 30 estimates that are in your queue of somebody that literally already called you, already gave you their phone number and email, already gave you their address, gave you permission to come out to their property. You sent them a quote. You took fuel in your vehicle, drove out there, took your time, gave them a quote, and then we just forget about them because they ghost us. And so I am communicating to my GMs that there is a lot of money to be made from people that have contacted us before that we send the estimate to and we haven't heard back. We need to be diligent about over the next 20 days when they ask us for an estimate to be calling them at least once a week. Obviously, we have texts going out and emails, but like too often, too many people are trying to find the next new customer. There's a lot of gold, and Mike talked about this just recently in the follow-up process. So if we're diligent about that, there's a lot of money that can be made. So, do you have anything to add on that, or add?
No, I agree with what you said. So yeah, focusing on, instead of trying to get the shiny new lead, focus on the leads that you've already gotten. You have customers that you've sent an estimate to that have not accepted. Focus on those instead of trying to just keep getting new leads, because getting the new leads is the expensive way of getting customers.
Yeah, 1000%, 1000%. So awesome, guys. Well, that looks like we wrapped it up kind of early this month. Thank you guys so much for spending your Saturday with us. We definitely do appreciate it. And hopefully this helped brought value to you guys in the lawn and landscape industry. If you guys have any questions, obviously I'm superly heavily in the comment section on like the videos and stuff like that. But we do this every month, completely free for you guys to tune in and ask us questions on how to grow a more successful business, especially from two people, Caleb and I, that are literally out there doing it right next to you guys. So yeah, thank you guys so much for hopping on, spending some time with us on your Saturday. Caleb, do you have anything for the people here?
Yeah, well, Will said, thank you for coming, and good luck with the spring. Hustle hard, get things rolling, and good luck.
Absolutely. Well, we'll see you guys in about 30 days.
All right, see you guys later.
Take care, everybody.